Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and this evening we'll have a look at the latest GFS, GEM, ECMWF, GFS ensembles, and we'll have a look at some precipitation charts, as after this heat wave we're going to see over the next few days, we're going to have quite a big breakdown with cooler conditions coming back, and we're going to try and see how that does evolve, any thunderstorm risks, and what sort of weather we could be seeing after sort of Tuesday, Wednesday, when the heat does start to subside. Do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and do remember to follow me on Twitter as well. Link is in the description. So if we run through the latest GFS, we have seen a brief cold front that has spread through today, and it's meant temperatures have been a little bit cooler today, and there has been more cloud around. However, it should slowly clear overnight into Saturday. As this ridge comes up from the south and spreads across the whole country, we do see quite a warm day through Saturday, with temperatures peaking on Sunday and Monday, especially in the south. You can see quite warm air engulfs the whole country, and then cooler conditions do start to move in for Monday in the north, but we hang on to the warmth, especially in the south and the southeast, before this low pressure in the Atlantic comes and sweeps that away. You could be seeing the 15-degree isotherm potentially in southeast England on Wednesday or Thursday, so we'll have to really keep an eye on that, as that could provide quite warm conditions and a very strong temperature gradient, as I've been highlighting over the last few videos. It could break down with some thunderstorms, so we'll look at the precipitations in a minute with that. Beyond that, though, we do go into a much cooler spell with air coming in off the Atlantic, but quickly low pressure develops over France, spreading northwards with some very hot and humid air around it, and that could bring some big thunderstorms into the southeast and like sort of East Anglia as well. You see the centre of that low is sort of over towards Kent, and that would be bringing in sort of easterly winds with thunderstorms rotating around it, and in that warmer air we could be fueling some big thunderstorms, so we have to keep an eye on that for sort of the next weekend. Beyond that, that low sort of just stays around, and it could be and then another low comes in off the Atlantic, and it could be setting up quite a prolonged cool, especially in the north, and wet spell. Further southwards, as we saw with those thunderstorms that are going to be heading northwards with that low pressure system, it does accompany some quite hot air. So although it's low pressure dominant, and it's likely to be much cooler further northwards and westwards, further southwards and eastwards, where we do escape the thunderstorms, it could be quite hot and it could be quite warm. So temperatures, even though generally are going to be cooler, we can't rule out quite a warm day in the southeast if you do escape the thunderstorms. But again, some days you may get a lot of rain, and it might feel quite cool and miserable. So we'll really have to keep an eye out for that. As well, it's towards the end of the run, sort of day 10 and beyond. So it's not right in the short term. It's not in the short term range right now. So I can't really forecast it that well. If we have a look at the GM, see how that compares. Yeah, it's similar over the next few days, with that very warm air coming in through sort of Sunday and Monday, and then that cold front does sweep through with another low pressure coming in, and we do get a brief burst of hot air in the southeast through sort of Wednesday to Thursday before it gets swept through by this low pressure system, and then we get that low developing over the top of the UK, and it could be bringing up some very warm air. A couple of days perhaps delayed in the GFS, may bring that warmer air in towards the middle of next week. But we'll have to keep an eye on this. I know at the moment, subject to any changes, which could be announced on Monday, the unlocking in England is due on the 21st of June. And looking at these current charts, it does look like it could be warm, maybe in the south and southeast, but there will be showers probably accompanying with that, and maybe even some thunderstorms. So perhaps that's not the best signal for everything being unlocked again, hopefully. So if we now have a look at the ECMWF, see how that compares. Again, very similar over the next few days, and then we see that low sweeping away that hot air, bringing in cooler conditions before those lows move in off the Atlantic. And on the ECMWF, quite interestingly, those lows are much further northwards with a sort of a northwesterly feel. This will probably mean it's a little bit drier further southwards, but it's going to probably be cooler with a more of a northwesterly feel than if we had sort of slow pressure over the top of the country or to our south, bringing in southerly or easterly winds. So it perhaps will be drier for some areas, especially further eastwards and further southwards. but it will be cooler as well with the fresh breeze coming in off the Atlantic. That's well reflected in the GFS ensembles. You see quite warm over the next sort of 4 or 5 days. And then we see that big drop off on the 17th, 18th of June with some quite big precipitation signals. Not all the ensemble members are going for it, as it really depends on what sort of breakdown we do see. Some going for sort of 20, 25 millimeters of rain, which would be, which is about an inch of rain. So that's a lot of rain, and probably would be accompanied, would come in thunderstorms and heavy convective lines. So that's more of an active breakdown. Others are not going for a lot of rain at all, so probably more patchy rain, and more of a sort of not a sharp breakdown where we see big storms and convection developing. Longer term does look like temperatures are going to be around average and precipitation signals are returning. Nothing very active at this stage. There are quite frequent precipitation signals, but again, in the southeast, we're always close to that high over towards Europe, so we could always that could always extend a little bit over the top of England at least. So we'll have to really keep an eye on how the last third of June develops. It definitely does look like it's probably going to be a little bit more unsettled, but whether it's going to be an absolute washout or not is still subject to change. So if we now have a look at the precipitation charts, we'll just run through the next 7 days and get to the breakdown next week. We need to go to the UK there. So if we run through it, you can see over the next few days, maybe a bit of rain in northern Scotland, but nothing for most areas. And then Monday, that first low tries to push in, but doesn't really make its way southwards and spreads through northern England and Scotland, perhaps bringing some rain with that. And then as we head into next week, see again that weather front moving in through Wednesday, moving through. And then we do see through Thursday thunderstorms coming up with that low pressure system in that hot air spreading up from the south. You see that initial weather front's pushing in and it starts to fizzle out as it reaches the high pressure. But as the low moves through into the hot air, with this instability, we do feel these big thunderstorms, quite widespread as well. Probably won't be as widespread as this in reality, but it just shows you the risk is quite widespread through Wednesday evening into Thursday, and then even more thunderstorms being shipped in for a southeast sort of Kent Clipper event through Friday, before it does look like again more thunderstorms spiraling around those low pressure systems through Saturday. A lot of rain looking like it could be falling there in central and southern England, so we really need to keep an eye on that as it does look quite heavy. If we run through the GM, you can see again over the next few days nothing really too much happening. A bit of rain through Monday, but again petering out before it heads any further southwards. And then we see that weather front moving in, and then we see those showers and thunderstorms develop in the southeast, pushing northwards, potentially giving quite a lot of rain in a short space of time through many central and eastern areas, spreading northwards. And then as we head into the end of the week, you do see more showers coming in on that westerly wind, but not got that low over towards the south of England. So we're not going to be spiraling in as many showers for southern and eastern areas. If we now have a look at the icon run, again, nothing really too much happening over the next few days. Bit of rain in northern Scotland, perhaps through Sunday into Monday, but really fizzling out before it heads further southwards. And then as we head into Tuesday, that weather front's push in, fizzle out as it spreads eastwards, but then those thunderstorms do start to develop, and unfortunately, Icon Run does run out at midday on Wednesday, so we can't quite see how those thunderstorms are going to develop through Wednesday afternoon, but we'll really have to keep an eye on that, as they could be quite severe with quite a lot of rain falling in a short space of time. And it could be the first real widespread thunderstorm event. We have seen thunderstorms so far this year, but they have been more sporadic, and they have been in sort of localized areas where we've seen conductive conditions. With this, it could be very widespread, where a lot of showers are thundery, with heavy rain and hail. So we have to really keep an eye on how this does develop, as I know a lot of people do enjoy seeing thunderstorms, but at the same time it can be quite dangerous and can be just quite disruptive for next week. So we'll keep an eye on that. Lastly, we'll go through the UK Met Office run. We'll quickly run through this to 120 hours, see what the Met Office is showing, and then we'll look at temperatures over the next few days, just for a last update before we head into the weekend. So as we head through, again, a few showers in northern Scotland, but nothing too much, and then through Sunday, those weather fronts try and push in, but really don't make it particularly far southwards. And then the weather fronts push in through Tuesday. And then as we head into the afternoon, we can't see any thunderstorms developing, or as we head to 3 a.m. on Wednesday, we can't see any thunderstorms developing yet. But that afternoon, they will start to develop. Fortunately, we only have the 3 a.m. run at the moment. 3 o'clock run this afternoon hasn't quite come out yet, but if it had come out, we'd probably start to see thunderstorms start to develop in the southeast, and probably in tomorrow's and Sunday's video we'll be able to look at that a lot better on these shorter range models, sort of the Icon and UK Mouse Office run. So very interesting couple of days coming up with heat, and then we get that breakdown with the potential of some quite widespread thunderstorms, so really have to keep an eye on that. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.